Michigan State falls 67-63 to Uconn in the Sweet 16. This was MSU's worst nightmare when it comes to the start of the game. Michigan State at one point was down 19 in the first half. Wasn't able to make any shots defensively. Michigan State didn't look very good. Obviously, credit to Uconn for being able to hit open shots. Now, outside of that, Michigan State played decently well for 30 minutes. I truly thought MSU obviously put themselves into a very big hole after that first 10 minutes. MSU, credit to them, they fought back. They actually had a lead in the second half. I believe it was 55-54 at one point, maybe with about like 8 to 10 minutes left. So obviously this is a game that you look back on and it'll be one that obviously Michigan State wishes that they had. They had a real opportunity to win this game. Obviously, a few turnovers late in this game obviously affected. I think it was at one point where MSU was maybe down one, and next thing you know, it's a 6-point game in a minute or two. Right, and that's obviously a big sequence throughout this game, but this is a similar type of performance Michigan State really faced in a lot of their quote-unquote big games all year, right? You talk about the Michigan game at home. Michigan State went down really big early, fought all the way back, and just kind of ran out of steam towards the end. Duke, I thought Michigan State obviously against Duke played pretty well throughout the game, and then obviously second half and that game turned out the way it was. But full on credit to Michigan State for obviously the fight. It's just one of those situations where Michigan State just obviously ran out of steam at the end. And one of those reasons why is really it seemed like the amount of playing time really got to these guys, and especially Jeremy Fears. Jeremy Fears had to play a lot of minutes throughout the season, especially in the NCAA tournament. Played 36 minutes. I didn't think he was great in this game at all. He had 4 turnovers in this game. Last 3 games, I believe he had 3+ turnovers in the NCAA tournament. I definitely think really kind of having to play as much as he had really obviously affected him. And he didn't shoot the ball really well. Now, full on credit to him. Late in this game, Michigan State was down 4. He was able to hit a huge 3 with like a minute and like 11 seconds left to cut it down to 1. Absolutely massive after Alex Caravan 3. So he did make plays, but another big thing for Michigan State in this game is they were missing layups. And they, I think, went 11 for 19 at layups. They also didn't shoot at the free throw line extremely well overall either. That obviously really affects it. At the free throw line, shot 72%. And from the 3, Michigan State really struggled. Only made 4 threes on 16 attempts. That's something that you're not going to be able to do against a really good opponent. You're not going to be able to win a ton of games with shooting that poorly, especially only making 4 threes on this day. But it's one of those things where again, you have guys like Cohen Carr, Carson Cooper that were very big parts of this comeback. They absolutely deserve a ton of credit. I thought Carson Cooper in the second half was absolutely incredible. 14 points, 5 for 8 from the field. You really just saw his growth ever since he got to Michigan State. He ended up posting after the game, basically a kid from Jackson, made like basically he's not supposed to be here, and now he's a Michigan State graduate, and it just sucks because it would have been really nice to see Carson Cooper for another year. And I know Tom Izzo talked about how he kind of wish he redshirted him, and I thought Carson Cooper in this game played pretty well. I thought Jackson Kohler in points in this game played pretty well. It's just what it is, right? Michigan State got a good second half performance, got a good comeback, and MSU just didn't have enough. And guys like Trey Fort, guys like Jackson Kohler, Carson Cooper, Nick Ward, Denim Wojcik, this is their last game they're ever going to play at Michigan State. And it just sucks that obviously it had to end in the Sweet 16. Again, full credit to Uconn. I thought they played pretty well overall. Terry Street had a really good game. 20 points. Alex Caravan again hits every big shot. He hits his free throws as well. Speaking of free throws, Terrence Reed, 58% goes 4 for 4 to end Michigan State. That is absolutely crazy. Solo ball. This is one of his better performances he's had recently. Demery didn't perform really well. Mullins hit a couple big shots in this game for Uconn. It just seemed like every time Uconn needed to hit a big shot, They did, and that's not the only reason why MSU lost. Obviously, I mentioned going down 19 points in this game. You just can't afford to do that. But again, it's just what Michigan State was this year in big games, and that doesn't mean that this wasn't a great season for MSU. Obviously, MSU's goal every single year is raise the banner. That is the expectation, and they failed to do that. And was it a failure of a season for Michigan State? I don't necessarily know if it 100% was a complete failure. I wouldn't say that. I would say you've kind of got to the point. Maybe Elite Eight would have been probably like as far as a lot of people thought they would go to. Really, if you got to Elite Eight, obviously you would be playing Duke. A lot of people would think you would probably not beat Duke, but just really the overall season for Michigan State. Sadly, this was kind of what MSU was in those big games. Go down early, fight their way back, kind of have a little bit too much to come back from. And it sucks because you have guys like Jackson Kohler and Carson Cooper that have been huge parts of this MSU program. They've really kind of established what Michigan State really wants to do again: rebound, defend, run. It's going to be a really big offseason for Michigan State. I just want to obviously take time to thank the guys like Jackson Kohler, Carson Cooper, Trey Ford, Denon Mojic, Nick Sanders. Like I said, this is going to be a last time playing in the Michigan State uniform. Just a really, really disappointing way to end. And I think the most disappointing is that you had a chance in this game to win, and you just fall short because of not great shooting, turnovers in key points, having to really waste a ton of energy to come back from really bad starts. This is what happens. And unfortunately, UConn just did a little bit too much for Michigan State to come back from, even though Michigan State rebounded UConn by 9, which is something that the boards was always going to be a big part of it. Michigan State, even early on in this game, was dominating the offensive glass, even when they had 6 points compared to 25. Like, it was really, really a weird situation. You thought that if MSU would be able to dominate the offensive glass, especially early on, that Michigan State would be comfortable there, but not shooting great, turnovers. Jeremy Fears, I don't want to go too much into him, to be completely honest with you, just because I think he's been really great all year. Second team All-American, but this was not his greatest performance. He did not play very well. And I think this is going to be an opportunity to hopefully light a fire under this coaching staff, light a fire under these players. And really, it's the offseason now for Michigan State. It's really going to be about obviously trying to retain these guys. Jeremy Fears, Cohen Carr is going to be the two main guys. I know some fans have been pointed to about trying to get Carson Cooper a 5th year. I don't see that likely happening whatsoever. We're going to see what MSU does in the offseason. We're going to see how they kind of approach things. It's going to be interesting. I think it's still going to be through, obviously, the locker room, through its team itself. Let's see if Tom Izzo goes and get someone from the portal. But yeah, I think one thing that we do know is that Tom Izzo will be here for a little while. He was asked about his retirement after the game, and he's like, "What am I going to do? Like, what else am I going to do?" Like, he was also asked, "What are you going to do in 5 years?" And he's like trying to win a national championship. And yeah, you obviously fall short of that this year, fall short in the Sweet 16. But again, full credit to UConn. They played well. Alex Karabin, Terrace Reed, hit shots when you need to. Really good start from UConn. Congrats to UConn and going to Elite Eight. And we'll obviously see what happens for Michigan State going forward. Thank you everyone for your support this year on the Michigan State videos. Really appreciate it. We will see what basketball content looks going forward. Obviously, Michigan still going forward, so cover Michigan. But thanks everyone for the support. Really appreciate it. And make sure you tune into other content as well as it comes out.